Denver Broncos have got the best record in the NFL. They've clinched a playoff seed, but they got a big task in front of them. It's a home game as they welcome the 10-4 Jacksonville Jaguars. Can the Denver Broncos get it done? Stay in the race for the number 1 seed? Got to hear it from you. Oh, let's get it started right about now. Hey, everybody, welcome into the Denver Bronco Roundup podcast pregame show. We're brought to you by Rocky Mountain Sports Network. We have an amazing sponsor named Morgan Trinkets that we love so very much. We'll talk about them maybe a little bit later in this show or when we hit up the post-game show, which we're expecting a victory, right, Broncos country? Right? It's going to be a big test. My name is Keith Brugman, kicking off this post-game show or a pregame show for about the next 30 minutes or so, and I got my good trusty friend. He's right over there, Mr. Kenny Kirkpatrick. Kenny, welcome to the show. Good to have you. I'm glad that you survived the storms that have been sweeping the nation and caught you as well. You're here to connect us with Broncos country. We appreciate it, man.
Yeah, if it was a Thursday night game, I might not be doing a show with you. We had no power. We had some trees down, but everybody's safe. We're all good. We got a pregame show, and you know what? Christmas shopping's over. We got Christmas in a couple days. Shopping's done. Gonna sit back and enjoy this Bronco game, which should be one of the games of the week coming up in about an hour from now.
Man, I'll tell you, Kenny, it's a game that, honestly, you look at this Jacksonville Jaguars team. I started thinking about it. I had all of written off Trevor Lawrence. I didn't know if he was going to make the turn from college to pro. Didn't seem like he was really making a name for himself in the league. Let's just put it that way. In his first few years, in comes Liam Cohen in his first year, and how come the 10-4 Jacksonville Jaguars as they jump on a plane and head out to Mile High? This is a team that is formidable. I mean, this is a team that, quite honestly, things fall right, they get the number 1 seed in the AFC. They have a lot to come in here and play for, and a team that's doing quite well.
Yeah, and talk about Liam Cohen, he's got to be in consideration for Coach of the Year. 10-4. Nobody had the Jaguars with a first-year coach, brand new coach to the head coach scene, doing what he's doing. And Trevor Lawrence, the number 1 pick a few years ago, is finally having what looks like his breakout season and may have found the right coach for him to get him going in his career for that when he was the number 1 pick and very highly ranked and supposed to be this elite quarterback, franchise quarterback. He's showing that so far this year. And they're going in the right direction, this Jaguars team. They're a little scary team. So we're going to see today, and we'll get going.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll put on the table exactly what Trevor Lawrence is doing this season. 3,210 yards, 23 touchdowns, 59.7% completion percentage, 11 interceptions, 32 sacks. That might be kind of interesting to think about that. Just on the flip side, at least from an interception interception standpoint, but Bo Nix, 3,256 yards, 46 yards more, tied in touchdowns with 23 touchdowns, but a much better completion percentage, 63.5 versus the 59.7. Trevor Lawrence is having one of his best season, proving he's a franchise quarterback, and he's right there with Bo Nix as far as the stats are concerned. I found that to be quite interesting, and honestly interesting in a lot of different ways, because I think this team matches up against each other quite well. Again, you look at two top-ranked teams, a 10-4 team, a 12-2 team. I guess that expectation should kind of be there. Our good friend Graham's coming in. Graham, good to see you over on YouTube. He says, "Good afternoon, guys. Hope that Tim Patrick does not have a good game versus our Denver Broncos, as he's now at Jacksonville Jaguars and part of that whole system that Jacksonville has kind of put together. If you really look at it, besides one player, they spread the ball all over the place, Kenny, all over the place. There's not one guy you can necessarily key on when it comes to receivers.
No, and a huge pickup for them. If let's keep in mind they lost Travis Hunter on the offensive side of the ball, but at the deadline they picked up a familiar face, former Raiders wide receiver Jacoby Myers, a very underrated wide receiver and a lower end number one wide receiver. Now you have him as your number two wide receiver alongside Brian Thomas. A lot of areas Trevor Lawrence can throw the ball in this offense, and a dangerous, underrated offense when you look at numbers around the league. So this offense is a little dangerous.
I'll give you some Tim Patrick numbers, Graham, since you brought him up. Tim Patrick, so far on the year, not an impressive yardage year, 172 yards, but he's raked in 3 TDs. And I say that's fairly impressive because that would be tied for number 2 on the team as far as overall TDs. Like I said, they spread around, leading the way though. And I think we would be wrong. We would be, we would embarrass ourselves if we didn't mention Etienne. Travis Etienne, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Sorry.
Travis Etienne. Yeah. Travis.
Yes,
I get mixed up.
Yeah. So, I mean, talk about the season he's having. Talk about what he's meant to this offense. I mean, this is really how the offense runs, is through this running back in Etienne.
Yeah, and before the season started, I had him as a high trade candidate, thinking the Jaguars were going to be in more of a rebuilding mode this year. Drafted Bashul Tootin, Tank Bigsby on this team. That they had some young running backs. I thought they were going to move on from Etienne. Etienne said, no, hold off. This is my job. And Etienne has been a force to be reckoned with, and a run game that has been pretty solid for the Jaguars, that the Broncos are going to have to, not sleep on today.
Well, and this is kind of where I get into, like, if you're going, checks and balances down the list, Etienne has 949 yards on the ground, plus another 254 yards through the air. He has 5 touchdowns through the on the ground. He has 5 touchdowns through the. I'm sorry, 7 touchdowns on the ground, 5 through the air. This is the guy that, like you said, is you cannot sleep on. He's a major part of how this offense works. And if you're going flip side to flip side, I worry that we have anything equivalent on the other side. We'll have to make it up probably more on the receiver side of things, because I don't think we necessarily have an Etienne on our roster as of now. I'd love RJ Harvey to get to that level, but I don't think he's there yet. And with injuries also with J.K. Dobbins and the like, we're just not firing on all cylinders when it comes to the running game. The Jacksonville Jaguars are, and it's like you said, it's something that we're going to absolutely have to watch out for, plan for, game plan for, because he's a major piece.
Yeah. And on the flip side, like you just said, our run game, the Denver Broncos run game, well, the run defense for the Jaguars is tops in the league, one of the best.
Yes.
I did some research on them. They're one of the best against the run. You got Trayvon Walker and Josh Allen, the other Josh Allen. doing things, so being a solid force on that line and not allowing many 100-yard rushers this year. And I got to give, their defensive coordinator, Anthony Campanelli, I mentioned this name a little bit, his brothers, high school royalty head coaches in New Jersey, and multiple high school championships. Anthony went to Rutgers and coached the defense there. He's now in the NFL, got a defensive coordinator job. Watch out for this name in the future being a head coach, because he's climbing ranks fast. Very smart defensive mind. Sean Payton's going to have to play some chess with Anthony Campanelli and get a little creative, because this defense is not going to sleep on the Broncos. But where they are weak, Keith, is that pass defense. Travis Hunter goes down. They're weak in the secondary. Cortland Sutton, Troy Franklin, Marvin Mims. Get Marvin Mims creative today, and that could be the difference. We'll get into the keys in a minute, but Marvin Mims could be a big one today, Keith, in my opinion. And Evan Ingram going to face his former team. Expect a big play or two from him.
There you go. We talked about Tim Patrick and matching up against the Denver Broncos. I almost completely forgot Evan Ingram and matching up his former team at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Peter's coming in here and says their secondary is ranked in the 20s. Bo will find ways to move the ball through the air, I believe. Maybe
so
just
Peter from down under. Peter's down there in Australia joining us. Love it.
I totally forgot Peter was down in Australia. Thanks, man, for chiming in. Thanks for being over here on Facebook and supporting the show. We appreciate you a ton, Peter. Jaguars overall are ranked 10th overall on as far as a defense is concerned. They do have the number one run.
It is number one. Okay.
Number one overall. Allowing 86.3 yards per game on the ground. That's a measly number. On the flip side, kind of what Peter was just alluding to, and I'll put that comment back up there. They're 20th overall in the pass defense, allowing 222 yards a game, and of course 23 touchdowns they have allowed. So Peter, Kenny, you're right, man. The opportunity is going to be down the field in this one. Like I said, I don't think we necessarily have the answer on offense when it comes to the running game, like they have with ETN, but I think we have an opportunity, and we'll have to take that opportunity in the passing game if we're going to get this done. Might as well flip over to the other side, Kenny. Sure. Other side is our obviously defense, the Denver Broncos defense. How it's going to match up against Trevor Lawrence and ETN and the gain, and how you could maybe compare this Broncos defense versus this Jaguars defense. Take it away, Mr. Kenny Kirkpatrick.
Yeah, I mean, when I look at these defenses, I look at one that is a little underrated in the Jaguars that are going to try and stop the run. But then I look at the Broncos, and they're right there at the top. So you got like a poor man's Jaguars defense, almost a mirror image on the front line. The lines are going to be equal. You got your Zach Allen, going to be a force today, and Benito and Cooper, they're going to raise havoc on Trevor Lawrence. Linebackers, I think we have an advantage with Greenlaw, Singleton, and he's coming around. He needs to keep the tight ends covered. Don't give up big plays. In the secondary, we have a big advantage. But where the stats are misleading. Yes, that Jaguars secondary is ranked in the 20s. But if I know, because I know him personally, Anthony Campanelli, aggressive. He's going to tell his secondary to take chances, and that's what they're doing. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Did some notes. They like to create turnovers. So they're going to try at all costs to create turnovers, the Jaguars. Bo Nix, be smart with the ball. If they're not giving you the deep one, take what they're giving you. Take the 5 yards. Take the 5 yards. Take the 5 yards. Boom. Take a shot when they open up. I'd rather see those long 6, 7, 8-minute drives and get sixes on the board than taking a deep shot and throwing an interception, and I'd rather see clean play from the offense, got to get the run game going some way. Maybe you create an end around. Maybe Mims, like I said, Marvin Mims is going to be a key in this one, because I don't know if you're going to be able to create the holes with the offensive line running straight through the middle with Walker and Allen being there.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be Marvin Mims type of game where you throw a trick play to him, an end around, 1 or 2 trick plays in this game. Safe, clean play from Bo Nix, and I think you come away with the victory in this one. But let's I think you're going to see more of Troy Franklin today, and I think you're going to be very happy, Bronco country, and you're going to say we got our number 2 wide receiver after today's game.
I want to talk about those turnovers because you're absolutely right, Kenny. I talked about 2 different sides of the page, and you hit the nail on the head on this one. Jaguars absolutely dominating when it comes to takeaways. They're ranked number 4 overall in the league. They're plus 10 in the ratio. 26 takeaways, 18 interceptions, 6 fumbles. I mean, 18 interceptions, that's averaging more than 1 a game. They are absolutely, putting the pressure on the quarterback and being aggressive on the back end, as you kind of mentioned, and making things happen. On the flip side, just in comparison, Broncos are -2 in point differential. They come in at number 17 overall. They have 12 takeaways, 9 interceptions, 3 fumble recovers. So literally half the interceptions, literally half of the fumble recoveries, number 4 versus number 17. The Denver Broncos, Bo Nix, are going to have to be good with the ball. Like you said, they're going to have to watch out. It's mainly happening through the air, as you can see. 6 fumble recovers, great, but they're not punching the ball out a ton and stuff like that. It's through the air. So Bo Nix is going to have to be good with the ball in order to come away with a victory in this game, because they're going to try to create those turnovers. They know this is a big time game, and in order to go up against a big time opponent like the Denver Broncos, they're going to have to make a few things happen for themselves. Watch out for that, look out for that, and I guess just be aware.
Yeah. Another thing to watch on the defensive side, we talked about the defense, but offense, like you said, get Evan Ingram involved here. He's playing his old team. He's going to be motivated to, do something. He's going to know their weaknesses. He played on this team last year. He's going to know probably where the holes are in the defense. Look for Evan Ingram, and Evan Ingram, make a play or 2, maybe get a touchdown in the red zone, and let's go from there. I will say this: we saw last week this Jaguar team put up 48 points. Broncos are going to have to score some points today. It's not going to be one of those 14-point wins. You're going to have to score in the 20s here, because the Jaguars have scored 25 or more points in 7 straight games. And that's the longest stretch in their career since they've been an NFL franchise. So they're running high on octane right now. And, the Broncos got to do something to slow it down. And we're going to see. But this game's going to be won in the 20s. I don't think it's going to be one of those, in the trenches type game. And, I just don't know, how high you got to score, but keep this Jaguar team under 25, you will win, Broncos. So let's go from there, and we'll see what happens. We're going to do our predictions in a couple minutes, but let's see what happens. But you're going to have to put the ball in the air. You're going to have to score some points against this team, because this team will air it out. This team will try and get to that 25, which is what they've done in 7 straight games, and 48 last week. And I know they're playing the Saints today, the Jets, but the Jets only allowed 9 points so far in this game against the Saints. So 48 last week, 9 this week. 9 this week. This Jaguar team's on octane. Watch out.
Kenny, are you cheating? Have you been looking over my shoulder? Because you said you did your homework. I did my homework. The funny thing is, I have the Jaguars have scored 25 or more points in all but 3 games. One of those games that they didn't score 25 points was a victory, a 17-10 victory over the Houston Texans. So what you're talking about, Kenny, you're absolutely right, man. High octane, their average is 26 point. Oh, I'm sorry, did I have that? Yeah, 26.85 points a game. Almost 27 points a game is what they're averaging at this time. So they have been absolutely boat racing their opponents. Now, I will say it did kind of stand out that the one big defensive opponent that I think that they've went up against, the Houston Texans, was a 17-10 victory. A much, much more palatable type of score than what we've seen, given the 48 points that they just put up last week. Not the expectation in today's NFL, even as many points as are put up in this day and age. 48 is still quite a bit. Just really quick, Rams checking in. The Chargers are up 24-17 over the Cowboys with 12:30-ish left in the game. Go Cowboys. Hoping that the Chargers don't get any closer to sniffing the Broncos. Want to see them fall back down the rankings.
Yes.
But Kenny, like I said, absolutely right, man. I thought you were cheating. I thought you were looking over my shoulder. They're 25 points or more, and not only 7 straight games, but all but 3 of their games. So you're absolutely right. It's how well will the defense be able to contain that? Not very many teams obviously have been able to. It also, I think, puts a lot of pressure on this offense and Bo Nix to come out, be on schedule, get points early. Can't fall too far behind in this game because you can't be you can't be trying to keep pace with 48 anytime soon and get behind. So
no, and really, really be shocked if this is close to 48 for the Jaguars.
Oh, sure.
We got the thin air. I just looked at the weather. I can't believe 60s again in Denver in December, a couple of days before Christmas. What's unheard of, and the wind isn't going to be a factor neither. So that's something to watch out for too, because when these warm weather teams come to your stadium in late winter, in the middle of winter, you hope for a weather game because these teams can't handle it. But Jaguars are going to get all the chances in the world to face these Broncos on an even playing field. So Broncos are going to have to show up, and I think they will. And we'll see what happens. But this Jaguar team, slow them down, Broncos, and I think we'll be all right. I think we said the Jaguars got to create turnovers. The Broncos got to create turnovers as well. And that's going to be the difference maker in this.
I want to go through one other thing, though. You kind of mentioned the Jets just recently. I also just want to talk. I mean, no one's scared of the Jets, right? I mean, I don't think anybody's. I don't think it's the most fearsome opponent to go up against any given Sunday, right? I also wouldn't say the Cardinals were a whole lot to go up against, maybe not even the Raiders. I bring this up because in the last 4 games, since November 2nd, these 4 games, Jets put up 20 on the Jaguars. The Cardinals put up 24 on the Jaguars. The Texans put up 36 on the Jaguars. The Raiders put up 29 on the Jaguars. I understand that they might be a formidable defensive front when it comes to the run game, but that number 20th ranking and the opportunities you have to still be in a game with them, even when they're putting up 25 plus points, 7 points a game, whatever it happens to be. You have the opportunity. If the Jets can be in there at 20, the Cards can be in there at 24, if the Raiders can be there at 29, and even the Texans at 36, there's still opportunities for the Denver Broncos to go out there. And I don't know if I'm going to say they need to stop the Jaguars as much as they need to make sure that they're able to stay on pace offensively versus the Jaguars, because there's an opportunity there. Might be a high-scoring game, in my opinion.
Yeah, it very well can be. And Look at last week's score, 34-26 behind your right shoulder on your board there. This could be very close to similar thing. And then don't get discouraged if it is posse in Broncos country, because don't get nervous about your defense. This is a legitimate offense coming in that's done it in almost every game. And I got to look at that Texans Jaguar game. There could have been weather factor. Weather might have been a factor in that game. And if that game was in Jacksonville, sometimes that's a sloppy field over there on rainy weather. That was earlier in the season, that game. So let's not get discouraged if this game is in the 20s about our defense, because I think you're all going to like what I got to say at the end of the show when I do hope to hit my hot take like I hit last week.
Kenny with the hot take, man. Kenny came out with a hot take last week. Fourth quarter interception for Riley Moss. Denver Broncos win. I had to steal some footage and get that play and match it up with Kenny, because I mean, who calls something like that and gets it right? Kenny, I think it's that time, man. Let's get into some keys of the game. We got to get some predictions from our posse, and we got to get your wild hot take prediction before we get out of here as well. Whatever order you want to do that in, Kenny. We got keys, we have score predictions, we have your hot take. I'm gonna let you take the reins from here. Lead us the way out.
I'll give you one key on offense, one key on defense, so you can give us your keys. And then I'll give you my hot takes and prediction. My one key on offense is get Marvin Mims involved this week. This is an aggressive defense that likes to take chances in the secondary. Get creative. This is a good run defense. Get creative. Marvin Mims, create some crazy little plays for him. Maybe a wide receiver screen, an end around. Marvin Mims is the key in this one over Sutton and Franklin. Marvin Mims will be your offensive player of the game in this one. That's not my hot take. That's my key. Defense, get to Trevor Lawrence, and just like the Jaguars like to do, create turnovers. Get to them with your front four where you don't have to, Vance is going to create some blitzes. We all know that. But let's get to them with the front four: Benito, Cooper, Zach Allen. Let's get Trevor Lawrence uncomfortable in that thin air and create some turnovers. Here comes my hot take, and I'm going to up it from last week. I hit one last week, so I'm going to give you a whole two-parter here. Last week was Riley Moss in the fourth quarter. Well, you know what? This week, fourth quarter, we all seen that movie Groundhog Day. Riley Moss, another fourth quarter interception today. They're going to try and stay away from PS2 in the fourth. They're going to go at Riley Moss. I don't know if he's going to be on Brian Thomas or Jacoby Myers. Trevor Lawrence is going to take a shot. Riley Moss is going to jump in front of it. And this is going to lead into my prediction. Here's the second part of it. That's going to be during a tie game in the fourth quarter. Will Lutz game-winning field goal of around 45 to 50 yards. 26-23 Broncos country victory. We go to 13-2 with 2 games left on the season, and we continue with the number 1 seed. So Riley Moss, fourth quarter interception, late in the fourth quarter this week, leads to the Will Lutz game-winning field goal as time expires. 26-23, chat. Let's go, Broncos.
Love it, Kenny. Love it, man. Give it to me. I don't know what that view is. We're not doing that. Kenny, I'm hoping your hot take prediction comes 100% true, man. 100% true, man. I've had you put you on the big screen there. That way I get a good quality Kenny Kirkpatrick hot take in case we get this right, man. For me, some keys to the game before I get my prediction in. And Posse, please get your prediction. And Phil McLaughlin, by the way, getting his own little prediction in, saying, good afternoon, Keith and Kenny. 3 sacks today, 289 passing yards, 80 85 rushing yards. That's his prediction
Nice. What's
for
up,
the
Phil?
Denver Broncos, coming in with 100 stars as
Thanks,
well,
Phil.
man. So,
You
man,
stole
appreciate
us
you,
to
Phil. Absolutely. A little clap it up and a little mile high salute to Tucson Phil out there getting us all taken care of. Appreciate you a ton. Also, Graham's liking like what you're cooking up there, my friend. Like so, cooking up on the hot prediction for me. I'm not going to go long winded on the keys. Travis Etienne. Travis Etienne cannot go wild in this game, and if you're going to call yourself a top 5 elite defense, you got to find a way to bottle up Travis Etienne. If he's going to get his touches, he's going to get his yardage, he's going to get his receptions even. But you can't let him run wild all over you. That is going to be key. Secondly, when it comes to the defensive or the offensive side, you got to manage those turnovers. I mean, last week I saw one of the best performances by Bo Nix, but at the same time, I saw a couple of close calls when it came to interceptions. We weren't going up against the opportunistic defense that the Jacksonville Jaguars are. They will come down with those turnovers. Can't let it happen. Bo Nix has to play a great game. And I'm going to almost piggyback off of Tucson Phil here. I don't think we get 3 sacks in this game, Kenny. If I'm going to give a hot take prediction right here, my hot take prediction is we get 5 sacks. I think this is a type of game that you can get after Trevor Lawrence. I think this is a type of game if you're going to win, you'll have to get after Trevor Lawrence. And in doing so, 5 sacks, 2 by Nick Bonito, and he continues his little run. That's where I'm at with my hot take. Kenny, I'm going to see what we have for score predictions because I saw one come in early. Mr. Graham already has his in. That's where you get ready to round up with some predictions and then get all ready for the game and ready for a post-game show. I can't wait for it, Kenny. It's the most fun we have the entire week, I think, is those post-game shows. But Graham is coming in with a 38-27 Denver Broncos win. He's talking that high-scoring game, man, in order to come home with a victory. Wondering how you feel about that and how everybody else is feeling about that. Phil, by the way, says, sorry, Kenny, Broncos up 10 in the fourth, no field goal needed. Oh, gotcha. I was like, what? I thought he was telling me what was going on in the game. I'm like, oh my goodness, what are we doing? We missed it, Kenny. What happened? We went too long. Yeah, I love that idea, man. Love that idea of not having to worry late like Kenny's prediction is. But hey, gotta give it to the master. He called a prediction last week. I'm gonna let that ride until he proves me different.
If this one comes out with I one upped it, we're going to be YouTube famous with this prediction. Let's go, everybody, and I'll include everybody. In the post game, we'll all be famous if we come out with this one.
No kidding. 85 rushing yards would be nice, says Graham, against this defense and what we've been able to do so far this year. Kenny, unless I missed it, did you have a score prediction? I don't think you gave me
26-23 tie game.
Ooh.
Will Lutz between 40 and 50 yards for the game winner.
You got it, my friend. Like I said, I think the Broncos will have the opportunity to put up some big points in this game. If the Raiders can put up 29, why can't the Denver Broncos? In fact, why can't they do just a little bit better than that? I'm going to say the Broncos come up with 30 points, but the defense shows up, Kenny. It's a 30-17 victory as we bury Trevor Lawrence. We do end up bottling up Travis Etienne, and we do come home with a victory. It's not as nail-biting as we expected. Maybe that's my hot take as we get out of here. 30-17 is my prediction. And man, me and Phil are almost lockstep here. Mm-hmm. We're really close. 27-17. Phil, we'll see who if we get the Jaguars right, we'll see who's closer for the Broncos then at that point, man. Love the prediction. Love the confidence that we have in our Broncos, man. Love doing these pre-game podcasts, Kenny, as we get all ready to watch the Broncos. It's been so nice, man. What a great season. All the victories we've piled up and compiled, and it just feels different this season coming in and having this level of confidence into each game as this season has progressed. It just is a feeling I really haven't felt since I've honestly started podcasting for the Broncos back in 2020.
And this is playoff atmosphere. You may see the Jaguars in the playoffs, and as crazy as it is, 12-2. And I was talking to one of my good friend Kurt today. He said it's crazy, we're the 1 seed, but we can easily be the 7 seed with a loss, and the Chargers right on our neck because they keep winning. By the end of the year, we could be the 7 seed, and we've seen that in the NFC. The Bears and Packers keep flip flopping 1 through 7. So, playoff atmosphere, Broncos. Mile High is going to be electric. I can't wait to see it. We've got about 30 minutes before kickoff, a little less. So we're gonna get out of here, and we'll see everybody post game. But enjoy the game, everybody. It's an early one, 4:05. So we'll be on shortly after that.
Yeah, I can't wait for the post game, everybody. Make sure you're coming in here, rocking your thoughts about this Denver Broncos team, how they did against the Jacksonville Jaguars. We all expect a victory as we continue to pile them up, Kenny. Ain't no time to doubt now. I mean, this is the place where you feel like you're king of the world. Let's stay on top of the world. Let's go out there and get a victory versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Tough matchup here, in my opinion. Underrated matchup. Probably the toughest one I've been at the same time a little bit concerned about. I told you I'm not going to be worried as much as I maybe have been in years past, but probably the most concerning matchup I've had since the Texans and their top defense. So let's go out there. Let's get it down. Bo Nix, big game from you. I love what you're calling out. Marvin Mims, finding out that Troy Franklin might be our number 2. I think that could happen today as well, because I think it could be a big air game for Bo Nix. Just need to take care of that ball. Don't get too don't get too overconfident. That's the word.
Yeah, that's the word.
That's the proper wording that I was looking for, Kenny. The family appropriate. Kenny, can't wait to be back on here post game with you. Hope that everybody that's out there watching come along for the ride as well. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Man, we can't wait to continue this run with the Denver Broncos. Go out there, get prepared, get in front of the TV. Go root on your Broncos. Turn up loud, because that stadium's going to be rocking. It's going to be a fun time. Any final thoughts before we get out, Kenny?
Final thoughts, we'll see everybody in three and a half hours. Let's go Broncos country. 13. Let's not make 13's going to be a lucky number, not an unlucky number.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, man.
Phil got more stars for us on the way out.
Oh,
Phil. Thank you, Phil. Thank you for letting us know.
I just got a feeling with Powers back, the run game will be better. Hey, Ben Powers was playing much better this year than most people give him credit for before he exited. And you're right. Maybe that could be the tipping point, man. Phil,
real rapid fire, quick. Tip your cap to Alex Palchevsky, because he really stepped in when Ben Powers went out. So my cap tipped off to that guy right there, and what a job he did in coming in and playing for Ben Powers.
Proved himself as someone who belongs in the NFL. I'll tell you that right there, man. The guy proved his worth, and hopefully for the Denver Broncos, man. Hopefully we proved our worth, so you'll come back in here post game, celebrate with us in a hopeful Denver Broncos victory. Should be a great game. Y'all get out there, enjoy it, get loud. Let's rock. Let's get this victory. It's time. Another one on the board. Can't wait to see you, but we'll get out of here like we always do, I guess. Boots in the holsters. Don't put your boots in the holsters, man. That's bad. Let's put your boots in the stirrups, guns in the holsters. Denver Broncos right there in your heart. Till next time. Till after the game, we're out of here. I salute.